In the gallant days when history hung on the flight of an arrow or the slash of a sword, when feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendor.
It is truly colorful, exciting, fascinating entertainment every minute of the way.
Moonsea Adventures.
Hello and welcome back to Moonsea Adventures, brought to you by these fine folks and my patrons on Patreon. To recap the last episode, the party had discovered the Anthony Manor, explored it, and had found a secret entrance, a chute that led far below the cellars and the foundation of the manor into the hill on which the manor sat, and into a series of natural caves. The party had explored the southern cave tunnels and had found that one split of those cave tunnels led to a dry well. They climbed up the dry well. It emerged into some long neglected fields and a broken, sad cottage. It looks like perhaps a landlord's or a renter's migrant farmer, laborer, worker kind of cottage. The other split of that led to some kind of tavern or inn. You guys found a secret door that opened up into the cellar of a tavern or inn. You didn't go up out of that one, though. You decided to kind of bug out and maybe come back later. Then you went to the north tunnel. There was a tunnel that went northern and then another one that went northeastern. The northern tunnel, you guys progressed for a while and you discovered that there were a few little twine crafted tripwires, and you uncovered this little twine tripwire kind of system. You came upon a pit trap, which was an unfortunate link in there, and then a much larger cavern opened up where you saw a lot of stalactites and stalagmites, one of which came alive in a manner of speaking. And you guys had a combat with a stone mouth. You were able to defeat the stone mouth, working together, and you now find yourself in this large cave. And I remember you guys did take some time to heal up a little bit and to tap some of those other stalagmites to make sure that they weren't going to come to life and attack you. But you guys see that the cave tunnel continues on to the north, and that is where we're going to pick up. So just for marching order purposes, who's going to be in the front?
Well, I'm going ahead.
Oh, you sure?
Absolutely.
Fearless Harley's going to go up front. Okay. Who's up next?
I'll go behind Harley.
Okay, Angler's after that.
Yeah, then I'm after that.
Okay, Ushun's after that. Jaunt?
I suppose, but we got to get Ernas and Tompkins in there too.
Do you want to put
Ernas is behind
between
me.
you? Okay, so Ernas is going to be between Ushun and Jaunt, and then Tompkins will be in the back with his longbow. All right. The frontline people, Harley and Angler. You see this cave tunnel ahead of you, and it is not 10 feet wide. It's about 6 feet wide. So you guys can kind of walk side by side, but it's a tight side by side. So I'm going to say you're kind of staggered. Light source is still Angler's hooded lantern, correct?
Yep.
Torch.
Okay.
Oh, and I have Murmur sitting on my shoulder, and I'm trying to use his dark vision.
All right. So the tunnel for sure continues to the north, like beyond even your dark vision. You see this tunnel continue to the north.
Okay, big guy, cover me, and I'm going up front.
Okay.
Cover him.
What is your passive perception?
9.
Okay.
Mine's 10 if that helps.
Ushun, what's your passive perception?
9.
Yeah, okay. So you guys are walking up through the tunnel. Just walking. I mean, I just want to make sure. Like, are you sneaking, walking, running, jogging?
Well,
Cautiously going.
Oh, cautiously. So just to be clear,
I'm looking for any trip wires that Harley has tripped.
Oh, didn't he slice it? Didn't you slice it with your
Oh
sword
yeah.
last time?
yeah,
Someone
he
sliced
did,
it,
and
yeah,
you
good.
saw that one go limp. So you see that it's limp, but it's still kind of following the trail of the tunnel.
Okay, I'll watch that.
It probably jangled a bell or something. Whatever it was meant to do, it might have done it.
Yeah, I think they are alerted on our presence.
So since you are doing so cautiously, Harley, make a perception check.
Okay, perception. I'm not very perceptive. 8.
Yeah. So you trip another tripwire. This one's new. It's made. Its crafting seems to be the same. But you see that it crosses the hallway and it goes down the hallway further to the north, but this time on the left side. You tripped it, but you don't hear or see any anything that is basically changed or affected by tripping this.
Silent alarm. I think they have tripwires connected to some sort of device that they will see how far we are.
Who amongst you has dark vision?
I think just Ushun.
Murmur.
Okay, so go ahead and make another perception check. Since you have dark vision, I'll allow this.
Me.
Anyone with dark vision.
Oh.
16.
You feel like further up, maybe about 30 or 40 feet up from where you are, it looks a little bit like the floor of this cavern kind of shifts, like it takes on a different pitch, and instead of continuing straight ahead, it kind of seems to dip down, almost like it's going down to another level, perhaps.
Hey, Harley, wait up. Wait up. Hey, little guy, I'm gonna kind of squeeze up there. It's a tight squeeze. I'm probably squishing everybody.
Yeah, you smash Angler up against the wall, and he just.
Oh, sorry, little guy. Sorry, little guy.
Or take a point of damage.
There's something wrong with this floor. I think you're the best person to carefully check this out.
Angler, do you want to scope it out carefully?
Yeah, I'll move up.
I got my torch up there, so.
With this pointed out, you and your hooded lantern and the additional light, you can make either an investigation or a perception check, your choice.
I'm covering him with Eldritch Blast.
I'll do investigation. Natural 20, I can share screen.
Nice.
If you'd like.
So here's what happens. You go up and you kind of like crouch down, and you could see, well, first of all, you guys can see, like with the hooded lantern and the torches, you could see how it looks like the tunnel is starting to head down. But as you crouch down lower, you see that there's like a lip, almost like someone has put something over this tunnel. You get closer and you see the tripwire that's on the left. There's a split it's like it looks like somebody tied a knot, and one part of that tripwire continues to go down. The other part splits off from that knot, and you see it's attached to a pin, and you see the little iron pin has been pulled. So effectively, you have discovered a pit trap, another pit trap.
Safe to say that the tripwire that we tripped caused that?
It's not open. It looks like you can spring it. Like if anybody walked on it, they would fall. It looks like for you because you made your roll, you're able to figure out that you can spring the trap if you want and see what's below. Or you can point out where the trap is to your comrades, and they could all make an athletics check or acrobatics check to either just straight up run and jump over it, or to do like a parkour move where they jump to the sidewall and bounce off of that.
Little guy.
Out to Ushun.
Little guy. So the pin is out.
Yes.
If we put something in there,
yes.
Will it not trip?
Yeah, angler, if you want to put the pin back in, you can make a proficiency check with your thieves tools, so your dexterity plus proficiency bonus, to disarm the trap, effectively putting the pin back in.
I will try that.
Okay.
All right. 18.
You firmly emplace the pin. You give it a test by poking it out. You step out onto it with one foot, putting some weight on there, and you feel like you're good. And at that point, you walk across. As you walk across, you could hear the hollow underneath what you're walking across. So you feel like maybe it's some kind of boards or something with dirt on top of them, and there's some hollow space under there. But you have effectively disarmed it from trapping.
Hey, Jaunt.
Yeah.
Hey, Jaunt. Can you, when you walk across this, can you kind of scream and utter a profanity?
Sure.
Yeah.
Had a lot of practice.
Okay.
Don't worry. Here in the underground, Fharlanghn won't hear you.
He understands.
It's kind of a deception thing, you know.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? Are you crossing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get across. The last person across, well, technically the last person across is Tompkins. So all of you guys get across. It looks like the tunnel continues for at least as far as y'all with dark vision can see.
All right. Well, I'll make as loud a crashing noise as I can with my feet without setting off the trap. And oh, by the blisters! Oh God, why? Why me?
All right.
Oh, get him out! Get him out!
I'll let you choose to either make a performance or a deception roll. I think either of those would be valid here.
All right, I'll go performance. 19.
Nice.
Help me get him out!
You guys are making this whole ruckus. At this point, you hear the sound of running from up the tunnel coming towards you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Does anyone, what languages do your characters speak, actually? I'll start with Ushun.
Okay.
I think it's
well, besides Common and Orc, do you have any additional languages?
I did. I just gotta go to someone else. Oh, Dwarvish.
Okay. Harley?
Elvish and Undercommon.
Okay. Angler?
Foreign and Common.
And Jaunt?
Dwarven and Halfling.
Okay. So you all hear some gibberish. The voices, at least multiple. There are several voices grunting and barking off commands in some language that is not familiar to any of you, and you hear movement and the clanging of armor and weapons coming down the hall.
I'll send their murmur.
Okay, you start to send Murmur down the hall.
Yep.
Murmur tells you that there are 4 goblins coming down the hall.
Guys, goblins coming.
You see, those of you with dark vision see these 4 goblins coming down the hall, and it's like at the moment that you see them, they see you, and they stop, and they're just like holding their clubs. And one of them like looks over nervously at one of the others and mutters something in Goblin.
Hey Harley, hold my torch.
I'll hold the torch.
Make does anyone with insight go ahead and make a insight check?
Is this a proficiency or just any?
Actually, you don't even have to have proficiency. You can make an insight check, even if you're not proficient.
18.
8.
Zero.
5.
Okay. Well, Tompkins coming through. All right, Harley. You sense that these goblins came out kind of aggressively, but have kind of pulled back, and they're suspicious and hesitant. Like it seems like they're cautiously observing you now. You guys that are in the back, especially Jaunt, you hear Tompkins say, I don't know if they'll attack us if we don't attack them, but they definitely look like they're suspicious.
Where is the murmur with respect to the goblins? He's
Murmur, I mean, if Murmur's invisible, Murmur flies on past the goblins and tells you that there's a larger cavern with a few more sleeping goblins.
Okay, there's more ahead. We should be diplomatic.
One of the goblins like kind of steps forward and looks out towards you and is like, he mutters something in Goblin towards you, and he's like,
I'll hold to my shield, but I sheath my sword and gesture by the free hand. We mean you no harm, guys.
Okay. He steps back, and the other goblins like look to him and they whisper to each other.
I continue. I don't know if they understand me or not, but I continue. We're searching for a small person. Have you seen anyone that looks different? And I change my facial appearance to some generic goblin, halfling I saw.
Okay. Let me see if we get that.
I'll put my club down.
Okay. So 2 of them, they look and they're like, ha! And they seem like they're spooked by the fact that you could make your face look different. You hear Jaunt, you hear Ernest like whispers to himself. He's like, blast, I wish I had memorized my comprehend languages spell, but alas, this is not something that I was prepared for.
Don't worry, man, I got it.
You see one of the goblins, he mirrors your action, and he holds up his hand and he's like, Uga, Uga. And then he points to one of them and he points back behind them. And you see the other goblin like run back towards the other cavern.
Okay, guys, we will slowly put our weapons down, and I'll try to go closer to the goblins. Very, very slowly, steadily.
I think we should wait until they should make the next move.
I will hide myself behind Ushun.
It's obviously running off to get somebody. Hey, give me that torch back.
Oh, here you have it. Now I'm blind.
No, there's light all around you.
Yeah.
You guys hear like a sound from back kind of towards the other cavern. Harley, Murmur tells you that there's another goblin coming, and that he's dressed differently from these goblins. He has like furs on, and he has like the skull of an animal on his head.
Okay, guys, shaman is coming. We will be very polite.
A few minutes later, you guys see 2 torches coming down the hallway. There are goblins, a couple more goblins holding torches, and they are escorting a goblin that looks like a little bit older, and he's very scarred. Like half of one of his ears is split and missing like flesh, and he has a bunch of scars like on his head, his face, and on his arms and chest. He's wearing like basically like a fur cape, and he has like a fur skirt. And you see he's walking with a staff, and the staff, and he's also wearing like this, it looks like maybe the skull of like a boar, kind of like a helmet. And he's carrying a staff, and the staff has like all these trinkets dangling from it, like different kinds of shells and bones and stuff. So it makes kind of a rattling noise as he approaches.
Ushun.
He's also slightly taller than the other goblins. He's about like 4 feet tall.
What in the hierarchy should that one be?
Looks like some kind of elder.
Shaman or goblin king?
Shaman, maybe. I don't know. Got a boar's head. He's all scarred. He's got to be old.
As he approaches you guys, he stops about 20 feet short. And he looks out at you all. And he speaks in Goblin at you.
I'll put down my shield. I'll show him 3 hands.
And then he looks up and he says something. This time he says something in Dwarvish, but it's a broken kind of Dwarvish. It's very guttural, and it's like he looks at you all and he says, "You speak the tongue of the bearded ones?"
I do.
Jaunt, Ushun, what are you saying?
He says,
step forward a little bit.
And he nods. He says, "You can understand my words in this tongue?"
That we can.
My speak in this tongue, not too good, but I try.
We understand.
Why are you coming in caves?
We are looking for another. Not goblin.
What other look like?
Halfling, maybe. Carrying a bag.
He says, "Is halfling is
small
not
person? No.
Is not man?" He points to you, and then he points to Jaunt.
Small man.
Beardless dwarf. Often hairy feet, if they're not these newfangled kinds that wear the boots and whatnot.
Is good with making rocks. is grayish skin, no beard.
No, that sounds like a gnome or a Svirfneblin.
Not seen this kind.
Well, that's probably good news. This tunnel, where does it go from here?
All caves used to be part of our clan. Now just this caves. Our people, and he points over his shoulder. Our people now just these caves.
Well,
other cave is not ours.
And I translate this to the group.
He says, other cave was ours, but is not ours anymore.
Well, was the tentacled stone monster a pet of yours? Because I have some bad news about that, I'm afraid.
No, it's not. Is not ours thing. Is thing that guards cave, but not ours. We go around it. Other cave is bigger problem, is where man things that are dead live.
I translate this. There's zombies in the other cave.
Angler, it's good we have the water.
Is where man things came down. Man things. And he points to like Jaunt, and he points to like Tompkins, and he's like, did come down many moons ago. Drove our people out of other cave. And now all clans are in this cave.
When he's referring to the other cave, is he so there's the cave that they're in.
He points to his left, which would be the northeast cave tunnel that you haven't explored yet. So you guys went south, then you went north, which is where you are now. He points to other cave, and he keeps pointing to his left, which would be to the other cave tunnel that you haven't explored.
You want cave back?
Yes. Other cave has closer to underground lake and to mushrooms. More food in other cave. But man things that are dead live there. Them come from up above, but have stayed down all these years now.
Many years?
Yes.
10 or so?
Yes.
They can probably
as many
only
fingers.
Count to 3.
Yeah, these many years.
Yes.
Well, that explains a few things.
We get you these caves back.
But you will not know where dangers are.
That's why we need help. In exchange for this help, I'm digging around in my pack. I pull out a day's rations. I will trade food for help knowing dangers.
Me dreaming on this because long ago me sent scout party, them not come back. But maybe with you, scout party come back and bring food.
if Scout Party still alive.
Me not thinking Scout Party's still alive was 8 years past.
Oh.
Me will send new Scout Party with for to show danger ledges. After
Most
danger
welcome.
ledges, you get rid of man things that are dead. And then you have whatever they having. And we take foods from that side. And weapons.
Ask
Old
them how,
scouting party had good weapons. We just have clubs now.
I'm translating this.
ask them how many bad things are down there. How many dead people are down there.
How many not alive things are there?
Mhm.
Take it.
Maybe this many.
The whole family.
How many were in your scouting party?
8.
So potentially 14.
Was 8 best warriors. Each warrior had armors, shields, swords, and some had bow.
We make promise. We go. Get rid of undead, not alive things. Bring back scouting party weapons and other weapons for your use. I leave this food, and I put it down, for now. We bring you news of scouting party.
What is your name, Goblin Chief?
Our name is Bonehog.
Bonehog. I'm Jaunt, and this is the lady Ushun. And all the rest.
Me will send 2 smart scouts to show you danger ledges and take you towards where the dead man things are. Them is very sneaky, and them knows where the hidden danger ledges are. But them are not good fight.
They need not fight. They will be in far back. We fight.
He takes a tooth hanging from a string off of his staff, and he rips the string off, and he hands the string to you, Ushun, and he says, "Is deal." And he points to your food, and then he points to the tooth he just gave you. And then in Goblin, he turns over his shoulder and he's like, "Uga, meshkita, neskorbar." And you see 2 of the goblins run forward, and they bow at him, and then they go up to you, and they're like, "Waki, nemshoga," and they kind of lead you guys away from the shaman, and the shaman just kind of like looks out at you guys, and he's standing there with the rest of his guys, and they're kind of watching you.
Should we go or?
I look back and I say, "Be well."
Till we meet again, Bonehog.
You see the 2 little goblins begin kind of like ushering you back to follow. You guys make your way back through the tunnels.
So I had translated everything so everyone knows. Yep.
Yeah. In your efforts, you notice that when you guys get back to the large chamber where you fought the Stonemouth, that the goblins go all the way around the circumference or around the perimeter of the room. Like they don't go through the middle. They walk in, they go all the way around, and then they go to the other side.
Let's show them that the stone mouth isn't there anymore.
They don't even pay it. They're like, you see that they're kind of moving stealthily as if this is just part of their normal route.
Okay.
They lead you back, and you guys get back to the main entrance chamber where the river is, and you see them kind of approach it very carefully. And they run out, and then they go to the river and they drink from the river for a while. And then you see them kind of motion for you to follow them, and you see them head towards the northeast tunnel.
Okay, let's do a marching order following the goblins.
Okay, so the scouts will be up front. They're showing you where things are.
Seems like Tompkins should be up front.
Ushun, and you understand them. You should be ahead.
Okay, I'll be after the scouts.
These guys haven't demonstrated that they speak Dwarven.
They don't speak anything. They're using hand signals.
Okay.
Okay, this can be problematic.
Well, I tell the scouts I motion to the scouts to hold up.
Just kind of a metagame thing, maybe. Angler, does this are you with your whole thing? Are you able to duplicate their language? I don't suppose you know what they're saying, but you can.
I can't understand them, but I can repeat what they've said.
Okay.
It's like a parrot, If I hear them say it, I can say it back, but I don't know what I said.
Everything you just heard, you'd be able to reproduce, but you don't know what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
So in fact, I'll say that when they were Ushu, wake, and they say this, Angler repeats it, and they look at him, and they nod. They're like, Ushu, wake, as if he got it. So they lead you guys into this northeast tunnel. The first 100 feet through this tunnel, you notice that there's the same looking kind of tripwires, but they look like they have not been maintained, and the string is limp. So the tripwires are not taut. It looks like they've been deactivated long ago. And the string itself looks very old and kind of brittle, as if this maybe was a thing, but now it's not. When you get to about the 100-foot mark, the goblins tell you to hold up, and you see them creep up, and they look. And one of them takes his club and jams it on something, and you see this collapse, this wood falls in and swings down on this hinge, and there's a pit, and they point down to the pit. They're like, and then one of them looks at the other one, and they say something in Goblin, and the other one's like. And they turn around and they look at you, and one of them's like, Naku ati mashkau, utu a mashkau. So he's like
we should jump.
And he backs you away, and he gets a running jump, and he uses the other goblin as a springboard and jumps over.
How wide is the pit?
10 feet.
Do the usual. I'll take Jaunt and the elf guy across.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's in the pit?
It looks like it drops down to 30 feet, and it actually just looks like a rocky kind of cavern floor. There's no spikes or anything in there.
No corpses?
No corpses. You guys carefully, I'm assuming, in turn, get your running start. Whoever's making the jumps, you can choose from either a running start and just a running jump, which would be just an athletics check, or if you want to do kind of a parkour thing, you can do an acrobatics check. You see the second goblin actually does that. He kind of backs up and starts running, and then he full blast just jumps onto the sidewall and kind of springs off of that to get across.
I'll just do an athletics. 13 with
Yep.
Jaunt.
That makes it.
And 22 with the mage.
Okay. Tompkins got a 13. Harley.
I have 10 acrobatics.
Okay, that's enough. Just barely. Your foot starts to slip as you're making the jump off, but you make it.
Mine was 22.
Yeah, you easily notch that. So as you guys get over that, you make your way. And again, about another 100 feet down, they stop and they point out another spot. And you could see there's kind of just a little bit of a difference in the level of the floor. And they point to it.
Okay, little fella. Check this out, I think.
Angler, you want to make an investigation roll?
Sure.
You can make it at advantage since it's the thing's been pointed out to you.
Thank you. With advantage 19, it would have been a 7.
So yeah, they pointed out to you. You kind of trace the lines of this thing. You find where the pin is, and you see that it hasn't been armed. It doesn't look like anybody's tripped this. So you test out the weight, and you find that you're able to walk across it. You notice that the goblins are terrified when you begin to put your foot on it, but then they understand that it's not doing anything. So you guys all each kind of take a turn going across this thing. It creaks a little bit as if it's old, but it's sturdy enough to hold up. So you guys get over that second trap. And at this point, they lead you to the end of this cave tunnel, and the cave tunnel splits off in a T. One side goes to the left and kind of curves around to the north. The other side curves to the right and heads more east. So you were going northeast for a ways, and now basically it hits a T intersection. One side goes east, the other goes due north. Make perception checks.
Six.
17.
Okay, a couple things that you notice, Jaunt. Number one, you notice that the goblins seem to be scared. That's more of an insight check, but you could see now that they're looking at each other and whispering in Goblin, and they're kind of looking back and forth between the two directions. The other thing is the smell. You pick up a distinct odor coming from the north, a really rotten smell, like a combination of sewage and rotting meat.
Well, I remark upon notice how the goblins are getting a little nervous here, friends, and you smell that? You smell that God's awful stench?
Well, actually not.
Sewage and death and rot.
Should I send
Maybe.
my pet to investigate?
I would.
Okay.
I will be right back. I can still hear you.
Okay. Murmur goes forward to the north, and when Murmur flies, after about 60 feet flying down this tunnel, it descends almost like a muddy slide into a pit of disgusting kind of slimy, stagnant water. And there's a lot of floating dead things in this water, like rats, dead fish. It just looks like just a whole bunch of, it's almost like a tar pit. It's very thick. and there's kind of like this big, pool, this kind of almost like an underground pond, but it seems like completely just wrecked.
So do you tell us this?
Yeah, I kind of like everything.
Ugh. Well, let's not go there.
Have Murmur make a perception check.
Okay, my roll is 4.
Okay, so that's what Murmur sees.
So, what should we do?
There's this other way. Let's go to the right.
Okay.
Leave the goblins here.
Hope nothing will surprise us from this side.
So one of the goblins is like, looks at the two paths and is like, Ishwa Mukwa, and points to the eastern path. And he like taps on Ushun and points to your weapon and points to the eastern path. And then you see them kind of like hide. They literally like just grab some stone wall and they kind of like wait and they watch you guys to see what you do.
Yes.
Could I do one thing before we go in?
Yeah.
I'm going to give both Ushun and Jaunt 1 vial of holy water each.
Hmm.
Well,
Just in case.
where'd you get this?
I will write on my board. I stole it from a church.
All right, fair enough.
Does that mean it's still holy?
It looks very clean and holy.
Very, very holy.
I'll give to Angler one of my potions or holy water flask. So we both have 2.
All right.
And I'll send Murmur scouting eastward.
Well, don't you want to?
Thought he was already there.
Maybe you want to give one of those each to.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll give one to Ernest.
Oh, you're here too. Okay. Tompkins, have one too.
Tompkins is like, okay, what is this for? What does this do? I don't understand.
It
It's
kills
holy
undead.
water.
You think there's undead? Is that what they were talking about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 6 of them. Haven't you heard Jaunt and Ushun translating? 6 of them. Probably the whole family.
What's wrong, Tompkins?
Well, I encountered undead once, and it's not a pretty sight. If they're skeletons, my bow is not going to do a whole lot, but that's all right. We'll figure out something.
Tompkins, I lived under the threat of undead attack for many, many years. Trust me, we can deal with 6.
Let's hope so. You see Ernest is actually like looking at his spell book briefly, and he's like, just one moment, friends. And he's perusing something. Does anyone else do anything particular or special preparation wise?
Well, Ernest, Tompkins, you got a sword?
Yes.
Hit him with the flat of it. Do blunt damage if they're skeletons.
Since everyone is preparing, I don't know, how long would it take to get short rest? Is it enough, or
an hour?
Okay?
It's enough. Yeah.
It's not so good. Okay.
Yeah, we could have gotten a short rest with the goblins, but I didn't want to propose that.
Never mind. I think the real problem would be the halfling if he's here. Undead,
Can
I'm
I
not afraid of.
can I give can I show this purple potion that we found to Ernas and see if he can figure out what it is? If it's something we might be able to use, I would hate to not know.
In fact, you could. And you see this extremely eager kind of delight come over Ernest's face, and he's like, "Oh, well, allow me to inspect this, my friend. It would be my honor, actually. I happen to deeply enjoy potions, and the study of potions is actually something that I have hoped to allocate more time to. So yes, please let me examine this." And he begins kind of looking through his book, and then he's like looking at the potion and stuff. Okay. So he is going to, I'm going to have him make an Arcana check first. Pretty good. 17 ought to do it. He says, if I am not mistaken, my friend, this is an extremely rare potion. This is a potion of mind reading, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it is difficult to tell the true color of this potion. Perhaps it is something that when we return to the surface, under better lighting, I could more properly analyze its properties. But yes, judging by my assertion that of the dense purple liquid and that sort of cloud of pink floating through it, I believe this is a potion of mind reading. Very valuable.
Well, I'm very glad to know that, and I'm glad I asked. Thank you, good Ernas.
Yes.
Where'd you find that?
I should know. I can't. Oh, got it off the orcs. I believe that it was in the tent of the orcs that we slew. No offense, they were bad orcs.
They didn't understand you.
Oh, no, I'm worried. I don't want to hurt her feelings.
No,
Talking about slaying a bunch of orcs.
My family is long gone. I don't care for others.
Ernas completes what he was doing. I just need to. And Tompkins basically is ready. Everybody is ready. So
I'll be back in a minute. I have a very important call.
So the rest of you guys, marching order wise, like, as of right now, I have Tompkins, Ushun, Harley, Angler, Ernas, and Jaunt. Do you want to switch that up at all?
I can go in first. Unless you want to go in first, little guy.
I'm good where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I got my staff with the light on it too. Every now and then I'm like looking behind us, making sure.
Okay.
I got to give this torch to someone else because this is a two-hander weapon here.
Harley will take your torch.
Okay.
Angler has a lantern. Ernas doesn't need anything because he's an elf. Jaunt has a torch. Ushun, you could see just fine, and
Yeah.
Tompkins can also see. So you guys begin proceeding down this tunnel. You travel east for about 200 feet.
I'm being careful.
Excellent. Make a perception check. I was going to literally ask you what your passive perception is, but the one thing you'll notice about this, that all of you notice without any roll, is that this stretch of hallway does not have any tripwire anchored into it on either side of the hallway.
Good, because that's what I was looking for with a
It
roll
also,
of 4.
yeah, it also doesn't look like anyone's traveled down here. What was your perception check?
4.
Okay, so you don't really see anything out of the ordinary. Tompkins is right next to you, and wow, Tompkins, good job. That was a 2. You guys are walking. You walk, like I said, you walk east for about 200 feet, and then you notice that the cave kind of turns to the north. And as you kind of are coming around this bend, there's a waft of a smell that's not quite as pungent and bad as the polluted underground pond, but it definitely is a smell of death and earth. The smell of the grave is prominent. And there's even a slight draft. The torch holders amongst you notice that as you kind of come around the corner, your torch kind of has some draw towards the north.
Okay. I think we're here.
I wanted to know, I got your marching order, but are you guys trying to be stealthy? What's your whole approach?
I would like to be stealthy.
Let's sneak in.
Yeah, I'll try some stealth here. I just want to look in.
Okay, so you can look around the corner and you could see with dark vision for 60 feet that this continues. Yeah, this kind of turn and bend continues for as far as your dark vision can reveal.
Okay. Tompkins, I can see for 60 feet. There's nothing there. Why don't you go for 60 feet, see what you see, and then motion me forward if it's okay, or make some kind of sign if there's something there.
You see Tompkins nod, and you see him kind of begin stealthing down the hallway, and he looks like he's doing pretty well. He's gone for a little bit, and then you see him stealth back, and he says, "It looks like at about 100 feet, it opens up into some big chamber, but I heard something in there. I'm not sure what it was. It sounded like the rattling of chains."
We may see what it is. I will take a look.
Okay.
And I send the murmur there.
Okay.
And I'm looking through his eyes.
You see Murmur basically fly through the tunnel and come into a large cavernous chamber. You see a stone like stalagmite that's kind of in the center of the chamber, and you see chains. There are chains that are very visible to like they're obviously like pounded into this stalagmite in the center of the chamber. The chains seem to be anchored around what looks like half of a body. And then you see a cluster of zombies that are feeding on the remnants of that body. And the zombies are not chained.
Does that body looks like a small humanoid?
Yes.
Okay. While this is happening, I'm just scooching up 60 feet.
Okay.
And I'm motioning everyone else.
Make a stealth check for me.
Oh boy.
Anybody who's moving forward. So I'm going to say at least. Oh, Tompkins, not good.
Ooh, not
So
good.
here's what happens. You're perceiving through Murmur, Harley, and Murmur notices that some of the zombies that are feeding on the body of this halfling, like slowly look up and turn around and start getting up and like shuffling towards you guys.
In that instant, I snap back and I, whisper shout. They're upon us!
You guys see that there's some zombies coming down the hall. Ushun, they come into, your purview, your field of view. They are moving slowly, but you see that they definitely are moving down the hall towards you guys.
No problem. I'm ready for him. Got
Okay.
my club in 2 hands.
So the zombies do not do well on initiative, but everybody else needs to roll initiative.
As the zombies try to approach, may I shout through the murmur?
Yes.
Something like, "Hey, I'm here!"
Okay. All right. So
I hope it will help.
Okay. So I need to get everybody's initiative. So Ushun, what do you have?
7.
7. Okay. Jaunt, what do you have?
18.
Nice. Angler, what do you have?
Big fat 5.
5. And Harley?
12.
12. Okay.
Now these are flesh and blood zombies.
Yeah, so I'll describe as they're getting closer kind of what you see. So these are flesh and blood zombies, and they look like they are in fairly good condition, but they also look kind of dried out. You see that all of them are wrapped in gauze and bandages, like cloth bandages. You could see that underneath their clothing. And most of the clothing, by the way, is like dirty and covered in cave dust. But at one time, this clothing looked like it was very nice. So the 3 that are approaching you, one is wearing like a sort of torn and dirty like ball gown. And the other 2 are wearing like fine men's suits. But all of their clothing looks very old and also very like covered in cave dirt and smudges. And they are kind of shambling towards you guys. Now the other zombies are still in the bigger cave. So as these are approaching, you see Tompkins kind of pull out his bow and he goes, well, at least they're not skeletons. And he fires a shot, which is a hit because zombies have not fantastic AC. All right, so he hits one. Jaunt, you are up. So they're still 60 feet away. You get a free attack basically this round because they're slow.
Sacred Flame of Daybreak.
That is what, a dexterity saving throw? Yeah.
Yeah. And my spell save DC is 13.
That's a big fail. How much damage does that do?
1d8. Oh, let's see. 3.
Okay.
Yeah, just 3.
All right. It definitely takes some damage, but it continues moping towards you guys. This brings us to Ernas, who is going to cast a firebolt, which is a hit for 8 fire damage, which is pretty good. Okay, this brings us then to Harley.
Okay, at first, I want to move 30 feet to the group. And then I think I'm probably in the range of Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
So I'll try to Eldritch Blast one of them.
Yep. Go ahead.
And it's 10.
10 is a hit. Roll damage.
Okay. 6, 9.
Okay. All right. That brings us to
And
Ushun.
then maybe as the bonus action, I want Murmur to shout in the cavern.
Okay. That will definitely get the attention of the other two zombies. Ushun, you're up.
Okay, step up to the one nearest me.
So stepping up means you're moving your full distance because they're 60 feet away.
Yep.
All right.
Oh,
So you got to
darn.
blow your action and your movement. That
No, I'm
leaves you a
not.
bonus action.
I'm gonna wait for them to come to me.
Okay. So you know that they're moving slower. You could kind of, if you wanted to half the distance, you can move your
Yeah.
movement and then
I'll just
hold.
do my movement. I'll just
Okay.
do my movement
All right.
and then hold.
Angler, you are up.
I will follow Ushun to get a round. Whipping a dagger would be 30 feet or 60 feet.
Well, you
Range
have your
or-
cunning action too, right?
Yeah.
So you could do your movement plus a dash and actually get off a sneak attack because they still haven't gone. If you wanted to, or if you wanted to stay at a distance, you could do your move and then whip a dagger.
Well, I'll stay at a distance.
Okay.
And I will whip the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
To D4 plus 3, so 5 damage.
Okay.
And that will end my turn.
All right. That brings it to them. They continue shambling forward. The two that were feeding on the halfling corpse also begin shambling, but they're quite a bit of a ways back. This brings us to the top of the order with Tompkins. Tompkins fires his longbow. And wow. Even with an 8, he hits because
He's that
zombies
good.
have horrible armor class. And he hits. And then it's Jaunt's turn. Jaunt, you see them shambling towards you, but they are still painfully far away. Like 40 feet away.
I'll hit the same one that I hit before. I think it's the ball gown lady.
Okay.
Hit her with Sacred Flame.
That hits.
I can
damage.
play with damage. Where's my finger? 1.
The flame is still sacred.
Good
Ernos.
attitude. Good
Ernos
attitude.
firebolts again. Hitting and doing 2 damage. This brings us to Harley.
I'll move another 30 feet. I'll catch up with the rest of the guys. And then Eldritch Blast, another one.
So if you move another 30 feet back, you're by the rest of the group, not where Ushun and Angler are.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I mean.
So go ahead and roll for Eldritch.
Okay. It's 18.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
10 damage.
And that drops the first one.
Praise the Raven Queen.
Okay. This brings us to Ushun. You are now within range to run up and do some damage.
All right. Which one looks toughest?
Well, the front one just dropped, which leaves the ball gown and the other man.
I'll hit the other man.
Okay.
Does 11 hit?
Yes, it does.
That's for 12 damage.
Okay, still up. Then we have Angler.
Can I move beside Ushun and stab
Yes.
at the same one
Yes.
with the rapier? 6 to hit.
6 is not a hit, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's a natural one. Either way.
All right. This means that we are at the zombie's turn. So, Ushun, what's your armor class?
Let's see. Armor class. It is 11.
Okay, it hits you, it slams you as it's trying to like attack you for a 4 hit points.
Okay.
The second one reaches out towards you, Angler, and is going to attack. This will be a armor class 16. Does that hit?
14's my AC.
Okay. And you will take 6 hit points of damage.
Oof.
Which brings us to the top of the order. Tompkins fires again. Hitting for 4. Not enough to drop the girl. The ball gown girl is still up. Jaunt, you're up.
I'm going to try and finish off the ball gown with Sacred Plane.
Okay, she does not make her save, so your damage is
8. 8.
There you go. She will drop.
This is the Lady Anthony, I presume.
It looks like maybe a daughter.
Missed.
This brings us to Ernas. Firebolt. Oh wow, really, Ernas? That's a miss. Harley, you are up.
Okay.
Murmur sees that those other zombies are on their way towards you guys. They're shambling quickly.
Murmur, distract them.
Okay.
And I'll try to make a move towards the Angler and Ushun.
All right. There's only one zombie that's still up now at this point.
And about 10 feet from them, I'll blast the zombie with Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's a net 1.
All right. So you run up near your friends and you're kind of like directing Murmur, and then you shoot off a blast, and the zombie kind of leans in to attack Ushun just as you shoot the blast. Ushun, your turn.
Okay. I'll hit that one again. To hit is 17.
Yes.
Damage. Come on, damage. Damage is 7.
22. Ooh, the man is still up. Angler, you're up.
Not for long. I will stab him. My
Okay.
rapier.
Not far long.
16.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Damage is 6 total.
Now,
Unless I do get a sneak attack.
now he drops. All right, I have to make a couple rolls.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
They're actually vampires. They're coming.
Kitty cat.
Two of the zombies reach out and grab at you guys. The ones that
other
were
ones are-
previously dead. One of them reaches out towards Ushun and misses. I'm assuming an 11 is a miss. The other one reaches out at
That's
Angler.
exactly my armor
Your armor class?
Yeah.
Okay, well then it's not.
Sorry.
That's okay. And the other one on Angler is definitely a hit because it's a 21 total.
Ouchie.
So Ushun, you're going to take 6. Angler, you're going to take 4.
I am unconscious.
Okay. Top of the order, Tompkins is going to fire an arrow and misses. Jaunt, you're up.
So just to clarify, the zombies that we did take out are sort of reanimating now and springing
Yes.
back.
2
So
of them.
is the ball gown lady near me? Is she one of them?
She just got up. Now remember that your damage is not what dropped her.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you make an Arcana check.
14.
All right. So you feel like as a holy pilgrim that your holy damage could keep these zombies down permanently if your attack is the thing that drops them.
Oh, okay. Well, then I hit her with the holy or the sacred flame again.
Okay.
Little added extra prayer behind it.
Does not make it against your spell save DC. What's the damage?
1.
You see when you do it, something different happens and the body just animation like just drops and just flops to the ground.
Fharlanghn.
Ernas is going to blast another zombie with a firebolt. Miss. Harley, you're up.
I blast the animated zombie with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And it's 16
It's a hit.
and 4 damage.
Okay. It falls back down. At this point, all 3 of the zombies that were originally attacking you have fallen. The other 2 that were feeding on the halfling are now about 60 feet away. You guys can see them. And they are moving very slowly towards you. Ushun, you're up. You see that Angler is on the ground.
You are muted at the moment, Ushun.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
You see Angler is on the ground. The zombies seem to be dead, and there's 2 more coming from 60 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to hit the one in front of me. That's a 25. That isn't a natural 20.
Yep.
And that is, oh, jeez. There we go. 9 damage to the one in front of me.
Okay.
Now is he
okay.
down?
Angler, are you at you're let me see. You got hit last round.
Mm-hmm.
Is the one in front of me down?
Yes.
Okay. Movement action. I'm dragging Angler out of there.
Okay.
I'm moving my full movement.
All right. So you pull back. Angler, make a death save.
Yeah. Natural 1. That's 2, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tompkins is at the top of the order. He sees the 2 incoming zombies and shoots one of them for a success, doing 8. Jaunt, you see Ushun dragging Angler's limp corpse back towards you guys.
Do I have the knowledge to know that I can do healing word and bring him back, or do I have to do anything to get him somewhere before I can do healing word?
You know that you can do healing word from a distance.
All right, I'm gonna do as long as he's within 60 feet, I'm gonna do healing word.
Yeah.
Balm of the Holy Wanderer. That just works, right?
Yep.
4 points.
You hear a power cord resonate through the cavern. As Jaunt invokes Fharlanghn, you awaken with a gasp, and Ushun, you hear Angler like cough and sputter and kind of waken as you're dragging him back. This brings us to Ernas, who is going to also try to provide some cover and fires a firebolt over Ushun's shoulder and hits with the firebolt. The zombie coming up. Wow, 8 more. Good job, wizard. This brings us then to Harley. Harley, you see your friends pulling back, but you see the 2 zombies that you saw that roused. They're on their way towards you guys.
The zombies are about 60 feet. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I take a glance over my shoulder if the angler is okay. And then
He seems to be sputtering and like coming to.
And I'll run about 20 feet and then blast the zombie with Eldritch Blast.
Okay, blast away.
9.
That's a hit.
Okay.
They only have an 8 armor class. So what's the damage?
Then it's 5 damage.
Okay. This brings us to Ushun. You, upon seeing Angler kind of like rousing and stuff and seeing Jaunt invoke his god's healing, you're not quite 60 feet away.
Oh, I was only going 30.
Yeah.
But,
So
I'm going back one movement, 30 feet. Is there the one I can hit?
So make a perception check.
10. Oh, 10.
You see, of the original 3, 2 of them are starting to get up. Not the ball gown one that Jaunt did his radiant damage on, but the other 2 boy zombies are getting up. You can run up to them in this round and reach them.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know why they're coming up, but they're coming up. And I'm just gonna.
I mean, they're torn up, but they just keep getting up.
Yeah, I'm gonna smash one of them.
All right.
Okay. Hit is natural 1.
You run up and swing. Angler, you find yourself awake. You find yourself now not being dragged. You are on the ground, and you were about 15 feet away from Harley and Jaunt and Tompkins and Ernest. The pile of the original zombies is behind you, and you see even 2 more beyond that.
There's one pretty much like on the ground in front of Ushun. Looks torn up.
There are 2 that are kind of about to reach out and try to attack Ushun.
How far away?
You can make it there. You're basically 45 feet, so you can make it there with your regular movement plus a dash.
I will move 30 feet.
Okay.
And throw a vial of holy water at one of them.
Okay. So you don't get to add in your proficiency bonus. You're just rolling with your dex bonus.
21, 16 plus. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong thing.
Well, even if you rolled 16, that would be a hit. So, you were going to roll for me. Roll a D4. I need to know the splash direction.
4.
All right. All right. So here's what happened. You whip the holy water and it shatters on one of them and it splashes back some of it splashes on Ushun. Ushun, you feel cold water splash on you, but what you see when this holy water hits this zombie is that the zombie also goes limp like the ballroom girl.
Oh,
All right, this brings us to them. So there's only one still trying to wake up zombie boy who is going to swipe at Ushun. That's a 9. That's a miss. The other 2 are proceeding quickly, as quick as zombies can go, and they will be at Ushun next round. Top of the order, Tompkins fires a longbow. Wow, Tompkins, really? A 6. Jaunt, you're up.
I'm going to get within 20 feet of the zombies that are going after Ushun and huck my glass or bottle of holy water at one of them.
So just make a roll, add your dex bonus if you have it, and that's your attack.
3.
Roll a d4.
4.
Okay. So you whip it, it splashes, it hits the ground next to the zombie and it splashes kind of towards you guys, but not on the zombie or on Ushun. Ernest
expensive
is going to blast and hits with a firebolt for 5 more on the front runner coming down the way. And this brings us to Harley.
Okay, at first I'll command Murmur to attack one of the zombies that are coming towards us, and I'll blast the one with Eldritch Blast again. I'll stand my ground. And it's a natural 20.
Is that for you or Murmur?
For me, for the Eldritch Blast.
Okay, so you're going to drop how much? Roll your d10.
5.
Okay, so 15 damage. That is enough to
well,
drop.
and I have agonizing blast, so 18.
Okay, nice. And then what is Murmur's attack?
Natural 1.
Okay. All right. This brings us to Ushun.
all right. I've got the holy water bottle in my belt pouch.
Do you want to dump it on the zombie who's clawing at you?
I want to smash it on the ground in front of him.
Okay.
Because I got really awful dex, so I think I could throw it down easier than trying to do a dex roll.
Well, here's the thing, though. Because he's prone and he's right next to you, I'm going to say that it's going to be a melee attack.
Okay.
So don't add in your proficiency bonus. Just make a roll, add in your strength bonus.
Okay.
You just punch him and crush it in your hand.
Yeah, basically. You're kind of like bottle smashing him.
Okay, so
nice.
That's an 18.
Yeah, he's dead. He drops totally unanimated at this point. This brings us to Angler. The other 2 zombies, you see one of them's torn up from like being hit by arrows and Eldritch Blasts and Firebolts, but he's still no, he dropped.
Yeah,
after Harley's last Eldritch Blast, but the one behind him is not. The one behind him is also wearing like an elaborate gown with like a over chemise and like jewelry, like a necklace and like bracelets and rings. And also wrapped in bandages, so you can't really see the features, but it looks like a female form.
I will use my psychic blades as a ranged attack.
Okay.
Got a range of 60 feet.
Nice.
Say 22 to hit.
Yeah.
And 4 damage.
Okay. That brings us to her. She's going to launch herself at Ushun. That's an 18 to hit.
Oh,
She slams you for 7 hit points of damage. And then Tompkins is up, top of the order. Tompkins will fire. Hits. Wow, for a lame 2 damage. This brings us to Jaunt. Jaunt, you see who you assume the other female is attacking Ushun right now vigorously. She may be the matriarch that you had assumed. Slightly taller than the other female zombie and more elegantly dressed. And within your range as well.
Within my range of spell range?
Yeah, they're at like
okay.
60 feet.
All right, I'll Sacred Flame her.
Okay, deck save. Wow. Actually, even with the -2, she got a 17 total. Okay. Ernas is going to try to blast her. Miss with a 7. Harley, you're up.
Okay, how far I am from the matriarch?
Like 30, 35 feet away.
Okay. I'll go so that I'm approximately 10 feet away, and I blast her.
Okay,
again.
Go ahead.
8.
8 hits. What's your damage?
8.
Okay.
And I want to attack with Murmur.
Okay, go ahead.
Murmur has like imp stats, yes. So it's plus 5, 13.
Hit.
And it deals 1d4 plus 3, so it's 3 damage, and
okay.
I think they are immune to poison, so I'm not
Yeah.
even counting the poison damage.
Angler, you were up. Oh, I'm sorry. Ushun's up.
okay. The matriarch is the only one that's up.
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Swing. 13.
That's a hit.
And that's 8 damage.
25 total. She's still up.
Yeah.
Angler, you are up.
And she's like 20 feet away.
Yeah.
Can I run behind her?
Yes.
All right. I will flank with Ushun and make my strike. Uh, 21
Yes. Damage.
to hit. Yeah. That was to hit. But it would be sneak attack since I'm flanking, or since I had advantage, yes. Okay.
Yep.
$16 damage.
Oh yeah. She drops. Your
After
rapier
that,
goes like through her heart, and then she drops.
after that, I will use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
I'm running.
That's probably a good move because now I'm going to roll. Let's see. 18 from an Eldritch Blast. Yeah, that's a fail. And that is a success. Right after she falls to the ground, she gets back up And not seeing you close by, she swipes out at the nearest Ushun. Oh! 17 to hit.
Okay.
She slams Ushun for 3 damage. And that the boy zombie does not get back up. So it's just the matriarch, which brings us to the top of the order. Tompkins has 2 arrows left, and his arrow misses.
He's only got 2 left or 1 left.
Well,
now?
he has to reclaim his arrows. Jaunt, you're up.
How are the holy water that smashed on the ground? Did it just seep into the earth, or are there puddles of it left?
There are little puddles. Yes.
If I can,
There's
I want
2
to
more
drag.
bottles.
Okay, I don't have them. I want to
Yeah.
drag the matriarch into a puddle and just smash her face into it,
Okay.
if that's possible.
You will make a grapple check. So that's basically a strength-based attack.
1.
Ooh.
We have rolled like 7 natural ones this episode.
It is rough.
Yeah.
And it's not any better when Ernest rolls a 3 with a firebolt. This
The
brings us-
NPCs have holy water. They aren't using it.
Yeah. Tompkins and Ernest have not moved forward. They've stayed in the back. They're doing distance attacks this whole time.
Okay.
Harley, you are up there, and you're 10 feet away. You see that the matriarch is still engaged in battle with both Ushun and now within range of Jaunt. It's your turn, Harley.
Same old. I'll blast her with my Eldritch Blast, and then
Okay.
I'll attack with the Murmur. So for my Eldritch Blast, it's 20, not net, to hit.
Yep, that's a hit. Roll
and
damage.
7 damage.
Okay, she drops.
And for the good measures, I'll let the Murmur to attack the dead body.
Okay. Ushun, you're up.
He has net 20.
Okay. I'm just gonna look
Oh,
down.
whoa. No, nothing.
I'm just gonna look down, hold my action, because I think she's gonna get back up.
Okay. Angler.
I will. I'll move back up to her to flank her, just in
Okay.
case, and hold my action
Same thing, holding action.
in case she gets back up.
She does not get back up. So, within this stretch of hallway, you see now that there are 3 male-looking zombies that were dressed in some form of finery. A shorter female ball gown zombie, and then this matriarch zombie. All of them were wrapped. The wrappings, what strikes you the most is that even though their clothing looks very dated and dirty and old, the wrappings look like they were freshly applied, maybe within the last few weeks. Like the wrappings are cleaner than their clothes.
Guys, there is 1 girl missing and the patriarch of the Anthony family. They should be
No.
somewhere
Yeah.
around here.
Yeah. Well, wait a
So,
second.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I guess these are the families.
But somebody's maintaining them. Somebody's wrapping
Yeah.
them, keeping them nasty.
Yeah.
But who?
Well,
Necromancer.
well, I'm going ahead. Jaunt, you want to come with me? Could use a little bit of healing. I'm not I'm not down to half yet, but I could certainly use some if you got some. But you want to save your other spell.
Oh, I mean, if you need it, I can do. I'll do healing word on you.
Well, no. Do someone who's hurt worse. I'm not even down to under half yet.
Who's hurting the most?
Angler.
Probably the angler.
Right.
Make a
Possibly the
perception
angler.
check while all of you guys are kind of there.
Perception check. Okay.
19.
Those of you with over a 15 hear the sound of chains dragging.
I'll immediately send Murmur there. Invisible.
Murmur goes and sees that the upper torso of the halfling is now animated, and it's pulling against the chains. It's not going anywhere, but it's dragging, like slapping the chains and kind of like trying to move.
Guys, the halfling turned. And no signs of the patriarch and the other girl.
Okay, Jaunt, I'll back you up.
Get close enough into that chamber to get within range to do sacred flame on the halfling.
Okay.
Or the halfling, the quarterling.
Okay. I mean, it can't go anywhere. So I'm going to say that, like, after a couple castings, you put it down permanently. You see now where it looks like this halfling was imprisoned and chained up here and left to be, the food for the zombies. What you don't see, I mean, you see like the remains of his lower half and his guts that they ate. But what you don't see is any sort of adventuring equipment or weapons or any supplies. It looks like basically he was stripped of all of his clothing and chained up to this spot.
No.
However, what you do see is across this cavern, you see an opening to another cave tunnel that continues to the east.
Hey, guys. We got another opening over here.
Before we go, I will loot at least the matriarch. She had a bracelet and rings and a necklace.
Oh, well, if you're doing that, then yes, allow me. She has 4 rings and a necklace and 2 bracelets. You estimate, let's see. Do you have proficiency in history?
I do not.
Make a history check anyway. Just make an intelligence check.
4.
Yeah, you're like, I have no idea what these baubles are worth. So you collect all the jewelry. As you're doing that, one thing that is confirmed for you is that all of these zombies that you quelled are not getting back up. So you finish looting the matriarch. Are you guys going to proceed then past the dead halfling body and into the next tunnel?
Guys,
Yeah.
we made a kind of ruckus here, but still, maybe we should maybe we should rest for a bit.
No,
I don't
we gotta
know.
go now. We gotta go now.
Okay.
I learned in my life that necromancy is made out of passion. Not every time it's made out of evil intent. And trust me, somewhere out there are 2 people that are taking care of those zombies. They will come here. They will look for them. We may take a short while to recuperate.
Oh, I want to see what's in that other tunnel at least. I'm going to go back there and look.
Okay, I'll send Murmur with you. It's not safe.
Okay. I'm
So
heading back there.
you're gonna send Murmur down to scout it?
Yep.
I'll follow right behind. I just want to look.
Okay.
You know.
This tunnel goes for 100 feet and opens up into a smaller chamber, but nonetheless another cave, natural cave chamber. There are no stalactites or stalagmites in this chamber, but there is a series of crates and a bunch of bunk beds that are set up very like primitive kind of frames built out of wood that look like they can accommodate 6 people to sleep.
Anything else?
There's the tunnel continues after this room.
Oh. Okay. I'm going. Anyone want to follow?
Are you guys all following or?
The crazy lady. And I'll run towards her. As I see through the Murmur's eyes, she's not stopping there.
Okay.
I'll hang back near Tompkins and hand him 30 arrows from my pack.
He's trying to recover some of his arrows from the zombies, but a good portion of them are broken. And he's like, "Thank you, friend." Jaunt, what are you doing? Are you guys going to move forward or?
Well, I mean, I would if but I don't know what they just discovered, so I don't.
So here's what you see. Harley was with you for a minute, and then he says like that crazy woman, and then he ran off.
All right. Well, I'll go with him then.
All right, Ernest
down the tunnel.
Yeah, Ernest follows you. Tompkins grabs the arrows and he follows. Angler, are you following?
Yeah, I'll go with.
Okay, smash cut back up to Murmur and Ushun. You go for another 60 feet and then you get to another chamber. And this is a large chamber. In the middle of the chamber, you see a coffin. It looks like it's a very nicely made coffin. And you see the form of a girl walking around in a circle, kind of shambling around in the circle. She has gauze on her. You notice that up against one of the walls are a series of shelves, deep wooden shelves that have a bunch of variety of different things on these shelves. Looks like boxes and wooden boxes and supplies and crates.
Okay, I'm just stopping there. Hey, ugly thing, Murmur. Tell your boss not to come any further. I'm coming back, but I want to wait and watch for a bit.
Okay. The zombie doesn't seem to notice you. She's just like walking around in a circle, kind of around the coffin that's in the middle of the room.
Do I see any books?
Yes. You see books on the shelves. You see boxes, like wooden boxes, some that are closed. You see some larger crates. You see a bunch of tools and supplies. You see many, many vials, empty, but, glass vials with cork.
Okay, I'd make note of all that in the room, and then I'm walking back as quietly as I can. Not really sneaking, just quiet.
Cool.
Careful.
You managed to meet your friends back at that initial room, the large room. So as I said before, you see like these bunks, and then you see crates and boxes.
We should check out the crates and boxes.
I found the lair. There's a coffin in the middle of the room.
A coffin?
Yeah, that's why I didn't go in. And the girl zombie is walking around it. There's books, there's boxes, there's crates, there's tools, there's supplies, there's vials.
What kind of coffin? Like a
I didn't look
sarcophagus?
that close. It's just a coffin. Come on. I'm not going in there.
I'll look on my sun watch.
Well,
It should be
Herb
night
was in
now. If
Huh?
it's a vampire, we're in serious trouble.
that's why I didn't go in.
Vampire.
That's why we should take a rest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I wanted to see what we were up against first. So, our magic guy can prepare better.
Ernest is like, yes, just to be clear, friends, I have never encountered a vampire, but in my studies, I am not certain that is something we want to approach, if it is possible to avoid such things. Did you perhaps see any books, such as the very book that we are seeking?
I don't know what it looks like, but I saw lots of books.
It's brown with silver and a elaborate silver floral design on the front. Brown leather.
I can do an intelligence check to see if I happen to notice it.
Sure, go ahead.
5. Nah.
Yeah, you were just like, there are lots of books.
Yeah, lots of books.
Mhm.
Well, the cat in the bag.
Meanwhile, we are here. May I send Murmur in invisible form
Yes.
to look after the book?
Yeah, I'll help you uncrate these crates.
We have like an hour, so if it's there, we'll probably find it.
Just to be clear, I need to know, are you guys taking a short break in this room with the bunks?
I am. I'm in the corner in my
We'd
Why
like
not?
to.
black mask.
Okay.
Sitting down.
So you're taking a short rest in this room. No one's going down towards the coffin room.
Only the Murmur.
And during the short rest, you can open up the crates and investigate things if you want.
Yep.
As long as there's no combat or anything, it won't disrupt the effects of the short rest. Okay. So you quietly as possible open up the crates. What you find are a variety of wardrobe options. Several of the crates seem to have like the clothing for the boys, and a lot of it is tattered and like moth-eaten, kind of, rotten fabric. But you see what looks like a lot of clothing for the boys and for the girls. You also find in the crates, you find like kitchenware and items like dishes and mugs and glasses and kind of normal household items that you would find in any purpose. You see even like one of the crates has a bunch of mundane books on like history and property and agriculture and that kind of stuff. You see an entire cask of oil, and you see like several oil lanterns that were never filled. All of these things are in this room.
Can I take a cask of oil?
Sure. Yeah, you open it up. You can.
Oh wait, a cask. So it's a small barrel. Is that,
it's a small barrel.
Oh, I'll leave that then.
Okay. During your short rest, you can expend hit dice if you want to heal.
Yep.
Okay.
John, didn't you get a few empty vials from our first excursion?
I did. I think I gave you a couple, and then I either sold or got rid of at the when I did shopping. I just kind of traded in a bunch of bottles, I think.
I have 7 oil flasks, so if we need them.
All right, you guys have a short rest. While that short rest was going on, Harley, you sent Murmur to investigate the books.
Yeah.
As discreetly as possible, Murmur was not able to see any books that had metal clasps or any kind of decorative metallic cornering or floral designs.
Shit. If it's where I think it is, we're in serious trouble. We may open the coffin. What do you think, guys?
I tell our two NPCs, you should get those bottles of holy water out, as it seems like the holy water really did a number on these things. I wouldn't do it on the little girl, but maybe whatever's in the coffin will, Jaunt, you all up with the shiny magic stuff?
Some shiny magic. Like what did you have in mind?
Well, whatever you did to take those zombies down.
Oh, the sacred flame, yes.
Yeah, the shiny stuff.
It's always at my tongue and fingertips.
As you guys are talking, you finish up the short rest. Murmur comes back and basically, nothing's changed. The zombie girl's just kind of walking around in a circle around the coffin.
As we're preparing, I took some silverware and I picked like 2 or 3 knives out of it and stuck it behind my belt as the security policy.
Since I didn't know I didn't have one, could I write on my board to the Tompkins and ask to see his bow for like 1 turn?
Yeah.
All right. And a longbow, does that count as simple weapon or is that a martial weapon?
Might be martial. I don't know. Let me look. Longbow. Martial.
Never mind.
As-
I have all these arrows and I didn't realize I didn't have a bow.
Yeah, short bows are simple, but long bows are martial.
Yeah, so never mind. I'll hand it back to him. That's a little too much pull for me.
He's like, no problem, friend. And he takes his bow back. So Ernest basically says that like he while he's appreciative of the rest, he's concerned about how we're going to handle this room. He could cast detect magic, but he would have to concentrate on it to sustain the spell.
Yeah.
Means he would have a harder time casting any other sort of magic if needed.
Yeah.
But the benefit is that if there's any magic within the range, he could sense it.
Well, that's good.
I could cast detect evil and good, but I don't know what information it would tell us that we don't already know. I mean, we're pretty sure there's something in that coffin and we see the zombie girl, and I'm just hesitant to lose that spell slot unless it's a sure thing.
Well, I could knock him down. I mean, that's about it.
If I'm able to quietly, I want to break up a crate lid into jagged bits of wood so we all have wooden stakes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. You could do all that like during the short rest.
Okay.
So you guys have flasks of oil, you have some holy water, you have wooden stakes. Your short rest is done. If you used hit dice to heal, you can. What do you do now?
Well,
I think I'll take the lead on this one.
Okay.
I will go to the end of the tunnel.
All right. Are you stealthing?
Yes.
Make a stealth check.
I'm up behind. Oh, not yet.
23.
Okay. You get up to the end of the tunnel. You see the zombie girl walking around the coffin. She doesn't seem to detect you. The light from the rest of your party behind you is all you have to see, though, right? Because you don't have dark vision.
Yeah.
Well, I can come up behind him.
Okay. You're no longer stealthy.
I'll go
Should I
there
roll?
too.
Should I roll stealth?
Sure.
Ooh, 14. What the heck?
You feel stealthy, but you see the zombie girl apparently attracted to the flickering light behind you guys, not looking directly at you, but she turns and kind of disrupts her circular pattern and starts shambling down like towards you guys as if she's going to walk down the hall. And you just hear this like faint groan emit from her that's like,
I'll move off to the side.
she seems to not see you or Angler. She's shambling towards the rest of you guys. The rest of you guys, you could see there's the zombie girl who looks like, kind of similar to the other one with the ball gown on, shambling towards you. Ushun or Angler, as she's passing by, are you attacking or what are you doing? No?
I'm not attacking.
Stealth mission? I'll go with the
Okay.
stealth mission.
Okay. All right. She passes by. In another 2 rounds, she will be at where the rest of everybody else is. So, Angler, what do you do?
I'd like to move into the room behind the coffin stealthily.
Okay.
I'll take
21.
2 steps into the room.
21 is more than sufficient. You take 2 steps into the room. All right. So, Angler, you are right by the coffin. You see now where the lid is, the hinges.
I'm going to draw my rapier and just stab through the coffin.
It, just to be clear, it is solid wood. Your rapier might not be able to pierce through it.
All right, fine. I will cautiously open the coffin.
Okay. Make another stealth check.
9. 2 plus 7.
Okay, so you open the coffin and you see another bandage wrapped looking person who's in a sleeping pose. And you can't, their face, head, everything is wrapped in bandages. You, however, don't have a light source near you, so you can't really see any other details. It looks like they're wearing the clothes of a man.
Well, I'll walk up. How far is it?
Do you have his lantern or your torch?
I have dark vision.
Yeah, but you don't have anything for Angler.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I just want to make sure. You walk up. You see that he has the lid open a little bit, not all the way. And you could see someone laying inside. Smash cut back to the rest of the group. There's a zombie girl walking towards you. What do you do?
Sacred flame.
She succumbs to your sacred flame because I rolled poorly. Roll damage.
5.
She takes the 5 and laughs at you. No, just kidding. Tompkins, boom. Ernas, boom. Harley, you're up.
Just
And
to be
so
clear,
is the zombie girl. She's still up.
just to be clear, we have fire in the room, like a torch or something.
You guys are in a hallway outside.
Okay.
You're not in the main chamber,
Okay,
right?
okay. So I say, my child will be probably as old as you are now, and I blasted with her Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Nat 20.
She drops.
Just to be clear, it was 23 damage.
Okay. Yeah, between the other hits against her, she drops.
You look like you're gonna cry.
This brings us to Ushun and Angler. Angler, you can't really see anything more inside clearly. Ushun, you see another wrapped body with like the elegant clothing of a man.
Anything else?
Laying in the do you open the lid all the way?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. In like clutched between his hands, like he has his hands crossed over his chest, you see a brown leather bound book with silvery corners and beautiful framing around the edges and this kind of beautiful floral picture in silver. And it's kind of like,
hey, little guy, why don't you run back and get Jaunt, and I'll stay here.
I will do that. Tiptoe to Jaunt.
I tell him the book is here.
In her voice, I say, "The book is here." To Jaunt.
Okay. So you guys
and motion to
after dispelling the last zombie girl, you see Angler kind of sneak back, and he mimics in a perfect rendition of Ushun's voice.
That's disturbing. Very creepy. Good news. Good news. So head that way.
Okay. Ernest is following you guys. You guys get to the entrance of the chamber, and now that there is some light from torches and lanterns and whatnot, you guys see in the corner of this room, you see Ushun kind of holding the lid open to this coffin, and you see a form laying in the coffin with its hands over the book. Ushun's motioning for you to come over. Ernest goes over, and you see him concentrating, and he's like, and he whispers, he goes, "That book is magic. It is magic. It's enchanted. There are enchantments upon it." And he goes, "And there's other magical things in this room as well." And you see him turn to look over by the shelves that have stuff, and he's like, "Oh."
Bag 'em. Angler.
So Angler, you can now see, thanks to the torch light and the lantern light, you can now see this corpse of a man in a coffin.
He's so bandaged that we wouldn't be able to discern if that's the Lord Anthony or anything, or he's
correct.
Just...
Like the others, bandaged. Like basically imagine like mummy wrappings, like head to toe, but wearing clothes over the mummy wrappings.
I'm gonna gently let the lid down and open. Does it turn all the way over, or does it just open?
No, it's
up?
hinged. So you can, I mean, it's once you get it to a 90 degree, you can let go.
Okay. All right, Angler. I think you can sneak that book out. I'm ready.
I actually have an idea. You said there are books around, right?
Yep.
Could I grab a book and try and sleight of hand, take one book and shove the other in his arm?
Like Indiana Jones it.
I will let you make that sleight of hand roll.
Indiana Jones stuff.
Angler, you crouch down, your beak hovering just at the lid, and you're kind of assessing the size and scope of the book. You're figuring out like how to move the hands and slide the one book out and in, and how to make the swap.
It's a 19.
And you kind of get your replacement book underneath, and you kind of simultaneously like pull this one out while you're sliding the other one up. And
Ba-doom! Initiative.
and you have the book.
He didn't move?
He doesn't move. No.
But just leave him here.
I nodded her. We would like to grab the magical items, so anything that he sensed.
I'm shutting the coffin.
You close the coffin. Just do me a favor and make one stealth check.
What?
Everybody.
No, just Ushun.
Okay.
I should have closed it.
You'll be pleased. 3.
All right. So
I bang it down.
you're like closing it and your hand slips in the last like inch. It just falls. And it's like, poof.
Like a toilet lid in the middle of the night.
Yes, like a toilet lid in the middle of the night.
That's perfect.
And all of you kind of like wince, and just for a moment you're like silent. And it continues to be silent. And as Angler has the book, you see that Angler has the book, and you see Ernest is concentrating and he's pointing to several different things, and Tompkins is grabbing these things and quietly putting them into a bag. Do any of you else, anyone else, take anything from the shelves or from this room?
I'm just backing away. Well, I'm standing guard over the coffin. I'm not taking anything.
Anything interesting?
What's that?
Should we roll Arcana or Investigation?
Gosh, that's a great question. You can roll Investigation.
Okay.
I'm looking for the halflings. Anything that looks like it might be the halflings' equipment.
Okay.
It's 6 for Investigation.
You, yeah. Anyone who wants to do Investigation to look for stuff, go ahead and make a roll.
Just to be on the safe side, could I tie my 50 feet of hempen rope around the coffin?
Like to seal it?
Just as like extra measures.
Okay.
Oh,
I will let you make that precautionary action.
I'll help him with that. So do it at advantage.
What would I roll for that?
It's like a stealth check. Dexterity plus your proficiency bonus. You're trying to quietly tie your rope around the coffin to kind of keep it closed, right?
Yeah.
And you're passing it under, and Ushun grabs it and passes it over to you. So you can make that at advantage.
I rolled a 3 to investigate, so I
26 on the stealth check.
All right, that's more than sufficient. Harley, you searched as well?
Yeah, I got 6.
You guys don't find anything that you think is particularly fascinating. There is things of possible interest. Like you find one very nice cloak, like a nobleman's cloak, that looks like it is in much better condition than the other clothing. It's not scuffed or dirty or like rotten. You also find a set of steel gauntlets that looks like they maybe were part of a set of armor. And you find a box of perfumed candles. And Jaunt, you know that like these are the kind of candles that cost a fair amount of money. Like these are the high quality like candles used at like temples.
These are quality candles, my friends. I know what I'm talking about.
The candles are worth 20 gold. The cloak is worth 20 gold. Who else was doing searching?
I'm still guarding the coffin.
Okay. And then the other items that apparently were of additional value, Ernest and Tompkins are gathering those. So you guys kind of gather these things. You've tied up this coffin. There's still no sound. And Angler, you have the book.
And I'd say I take some of the flasks that were empty, and we head out. And how many
Okay.
flasks are empty, by the way?
That's a good question. Some of the flasks have things in them, and others are empty. There are 40 empty flasks.
Jeez. I'll take 10.
Okay.
I'll take 5.
You mind?
There are 3 that have liquid in them.
Roll or anything?
I don't take those.
Two of the vials have a greenish looking liquid, and one has a blue looking liquid.
I'll take the blue one.
You said green.
Yes.
Would I be able to tell if those are poisonous?
You can make Arcana checks for any of the potions that you're interested in knowing about.
Arcana.
Okay.
Natural
Hey.
20.
Make Ernest do that.
13.
You don't think that they're poison. The 2 that are green, you're fairly certain might be healing potions. The potion that is blue, you actually would not have ever seen this before.
I will give one of the green ones to Ushun.
Thanks.
Keep the other with the 2 front lines. So
Harley, what'd you get for your Arcana check?
13.
Yeah, you don't know what the blue one is. Do you show it to anyone else?
Yeah, to the mage.
Yeah, so he's like, yes, it's magical. That I am fairly certain is a potion of heroism.
Hmm.
It's a very valuable potion indeed.
Is that a 1d4 plus 2 potion or something?
What's that?
The healing potion?
It's 2d4 plus 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of gather all this stuff up. There's still no peep from the coffin. Or am I to assume that you were quietly leaving this chamber?
I would
I
like
want
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys sneak out. You leave.
I'll be last.
You go back, peering over your shoulder. You pass the family of zombies. You go all the way back, and you get back to the fork, and those 2 goblin scouts are still precisely there. And they're like, you could see on their faces that they are shocked that you guys are alive. And
We didn't find the goblin stuff, did we?
They're like, FIFO, Kadni?
Well, we promised to clean this out.
Yeah, we didn't do our.
Should we come back tomorrow when we're refreshed and take care of whoever's in the coffin?
Oh, tomorrow he'll be furiously killing everything that is down there.
Why don't we douse his coffin with oil and burn him up?
That is one possible action I was thinking of. Or we may leave.
We promised the goblins we'd clean this out.
I say we finish the job.
Yeah, I say so
We have
too.
the book. We have to finish the job.
Yep, we do.
I will put the book in my pack just to
Okay.
hide it.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't throw real well, but I don't think will be that much of a problem to throw a torch in there.
So
I
you
could
would
reach
need
out,
to
no problem.
bring that cask of oil into the coffin room and then do your dousing and then torch it. Is that what you're talking about doing?
Yeah.
Or we may put it on the top of the coffin with a lantern lit on the top of it, and I may blast it from far.
Your blast would not ignite it because Eldritch
No,
Blast
but the lit lantern on the top of it may.
We also have a mage
Yeah.
Or wizard.
Like a.
So I
contact
need to
element.
know who is dumping the oil.
I'll dump the oil.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
I'll carry it down there.
Okay. So I'm assuming that the only people going in are Jaunt and Ushun to soak this thing in oil, and then you're going to back away and have Ernest light it.
I'll send with them Murmur because if things go south,
Okay.
I'll just be in the
Will be.
entrance.
we'll be there.
Okay. What was the stealth check?
5.
That is
Lucky
awesome.
5. It's a good, nice number.
So here's what happens. You start dumping the oil and you hear something moving in the coffin and you see the lid shaking as if it's trying to open up. But
Let's go.
some people wisely put 50 feet of rope around the coffin and therefore it cannot get out. So you just dump this thing furiously and you run back and you're like 15 feet away, Ernest shoots a firebolt and hits it with an 18. And the entire coffin goes up in flames. And you hear a just abhorrent screeching from inside. And the coffin's like shaking as this thing's kicking. And the screeching just continues to reverberate throughout the room as the flames kind of engulf this. Make perception checks, Ushun and Jaunt, and Angler, since you're looking into the room.
8.
3.
My God, you guys suck.
Fat 6.
All of you suck, and suck.
Sorry.
You just notice that the flames are like the smoke is kind of going up to the ceiling and the flames are just billowing. And this thing at a certain point stops shaking and the coffin's just engulfed in flame.
Then I think I don't know if it would work this way, but I'm going to try and just keep spamming Sacred Flame where I think
you do. And you guys are there kind of watching this horrible bonfire. And it's after a while, and I'm talking like 5 minutes, that Ernest is like, the smoke seems to be drawing that way. And he points across the room. And you indeed see how like the smoke is actually kind of going out of this chamber. Instead of backflowing towards you guys, it's kind of going out of this chamber. You continue to spam Sacred Flame. The coffin at this point now has crumbled like wood in a fire. You see the remnants of the charred corpse, which you Sacred Flame a couple more times just to make sure that it's done. As the body and the coffin burn out after a while, you are able to then see, those of you with dark vision can see that across the chamber, there's a jagged area of rock that kind of overlaps. And it looks like there might be some fissure or some kind of secret hidden exit out of that area that you could climb up 10 feet and maybe access.
I'll do that. I'll see what it is.
Okay. So you climb up there and you see now that actually not even see, you can kind of like feel it. You feel like the draw of air going out this way as if it leads up to the surface somewhere. It is definitely the thinnest of the cave-like fissures. You would have to crawl on all fours through this, and it's only about 3 feet wide.
I can't get through there.
Yeah, so like 3 feet wide and crawling is about what it looks like.
I can't fit through there. It's a possible exit, but I'm not gonna get stuck in that. Anyone else?
Here.
About the
Raise
goblins.
my hand.
Okay, I'll boost you up there.
I can fit. I'm only like 5'5". So just
You could definitely fit, and this tunnel seems to go on a incline. You're like climbing kind of up a rocky tunnel, and it seems to go for quite a ways. How far do you really want to go with that?
as far as I can, I suppose.
You know, the goblins might know about this.
Do you want to go back all the way to the goblins?
Yeah, I'll go back to the goblins.
All
And I
right,
tell
just
them,
you.
and I
Okay, so you summon them forward. They're a little hesitant, but they follow you. They seem surprised when they step past the bodies of the dead ones, and they're kind of like jumpy and scared of it. You bring them back to the chamber, and they look around the chamber, and they're like, "Eee," and they're happy.
I take them back to the end chamber, and I point to the fissure that Angler is crawling up.
And they're like, "Oh, Misho Shamati Chushu." They make an insight check.
Let me see. 12.
They don't seem to know about this.
Ah.
Angler, you're gone for 20 minutes. You guys, you're concerned because the person carrying the book is gone.
Oh, that dirty. Oh,
He didn't.
I knew it.
Didn't.
I'll send a murmur after him.
Oh, there you go. So you send the invisible familiar who catches up to Angler in half the time.
Whose knees are very
and then
sore,
goes
by the way.
past Angler and eventually ends up on the surface at night in a cluster of rocks in the middle of a field.
How far it is?
Hundreds of yards.
Okay. I don't know yards.
Hundreds of meters.
Okay.
It's like 30 meters, right? I don't actually.
Well,
I don't know how many.
It's okay.
A yard is about approximately 3 feet. Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah, about 200 meters, maybe.
Yes.
200 yards. Okay.
Let's just say 400 meters for good measure.
Oh, okay.
It's a really long way. So Murmur comes back down and tells you, Angler, that this goes outside. What do the rest of you want to do?
Call for him to come back.
Okay. Murmur, you hear the voice of Harley telling you to come back.
In the 20 minutes that we were waiting, at least I did some sort of abridged funeral prayers over all the dead. Just,
okay.
you know.
Yes. Do any of you now search this area any further?
Yeah, why not?
Well, until the murmur returns.
I'm just like slowly like sliding back down.
Okay. Angler comes back eventually. Murmur comes back. You guys search. Basically, it looks like this is everything that as you open up crates and go through the things on the shelves and the boxes, it looks like everything that you might have needed if you were going to try to survive underground for a long time. Like as living people. You see just more supplies of candles and lanterns and tools like picks, crowbars. You see cooking supplies. You see books and on a variety of different subjects related to plants and natural occurrences within caves, studies of minerals, studies of fungus, and just all these kind of different sort of things that would seem to be geared towards people who maybe were looking to live in caves.
I look at the goblins and I point to one of them and I say, I point and I make little running feet. Shaman guy.
Ah, okay, nash beefs. He runs off. You guys also uncrate a fair amount of weapons. And these look like they haven't been, they maybe were thrown in this crate a long time ago. But you see a group of short swords, some daggers, some shields, a few helmets, and they're all kind of geared towards small-sized people. You also find a backpack, which has basic explorer supplies. There's a bedroll, some rope, some rations, there's even a water skin. And these all look like they're more recent. But the backpack's kind of on the smaller side, as is the bedroll.
Well, I hand Angler the rope here.
Well,
Looks
I don't know,
like
we
this
could take
one
these back.
is
I'll
hard.
take a look at that pack.
Okay, Jaunt, as you open it up, you see, like, amongst the other supplies and things, you also notice that there's a scroll rolled up, and there was a wax seal, but it had been broken, and the scroll's obviously been opened.
Does it look like the scroll that we found and the like that? Maybe it's the halfling took this from the. No.
Nope.
Airness. Have a look at this.
He
Show him
looks
the
at it,
scroll.
and he goes, "It looks like some kind of contract," and he hands it back to you. You look at it, and it seems to be a contract, an agreement between a person named Fraujic and a noble house by the name of Prospos.
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 Now,
So perhaps the halfling was named Fraujic.
yeah, probably.
It would seem like perhaps this is the case. And as you read the contents of this contract, it would appear that this House Prospos had hired Fraujic to recover a book that bears very much the description of the book that you guys had been hired to find.
I relay this to these guys and say, well, it appears the Prospos family was our competition.
Let's show this to the boss.
We have similar contract. We should oblige you. We
I
should
find it-
return.
can I take the cooking utensils?
Do I find any of that halfling pipe weed?
No, you don't even find a pipe, actually.
Damn. Well, then what was the point of all of this? All right.
I'll wait till the shaman gets back or comes in.
You wait for probably a half an hour. By
That's
the time you guys are done kind of inventory and everything, you hear the sound of multiple goblins, and eventually the shaman comes in with his 2 torchbearers, and there's like a clan of 30 goblins behind him. And he looks out you, and he looks at the whole room, and he looks at the burned, thing, and he looks at Jaunt, and he looks at Ushun, and in Dwarvish, he says, "Victory."
Victory.
Victory in Dwarvish.
And then in Goblin, he turns to his people, and he's like, "Mashukukub," and they're like, "Ha, Mashukukub," and they start dancing around and chanting.
I take the shaman aside and I say in Dwarvish, now the pool has been fouled very badly. So that
In
will take some
Dwarvish, he
time.
says, "Yes, we smelled it. I did not go that way because
It's
my
So,
scout was not sure if you knew about what was in there."
dead things. Nothing that can move. The report was dead fish, animals, trash, stuff like that. So it'll have to be cleaned out.
And blessed.
He says, "Do you have any more of the black water that burns?"
Did we empty the cask?
The oil?
You didn't actually use up everything in the cask.
Got a little.
He's like,
Is there any more?
"Let us burn away the thing that smells."
Okay.
Give us.
Yeah. I hand it to him.
He orders 2 of his guys to go, and you see the whole clan like follows them down the hall, and they kind of like disappear off in the distance.
Well, this place is yours now again.
And he just shouts back over his shoulder in Dwarvish. He's like, "Victory!"
And I point out the fissure that we found. This goes up to a field, to a rock pile in a field. Many.
He goes, "Yes, I remember this from when I was young. This was way out to surface for doing raids. Is good to know this is still open for to go up. Especially with pond made bad. Must sometime go up for food then."
So
he says, "Agreement honored."
So I pull out the tooth on a string.
He says, "You keep is gift for you."
Thank you.
I'm going to take that big tooth we found in the manor, and I'm going to give that to Ushun too. You seem to be collecting these.
No, I left that bag of teeth back there.
Oh, did you?
No, I wasn't going to take those. But this, why don't we make this party treasure?
Bonehog basically at this point, his minions return, and they say that they've set fire to the foul room, and he tells you that you could go out this way, and it would just bring you to the fields, not far from the Thar.
I'm too big.
He says, there is path south that goes out near farm.
There's the tavern exit as well.
Exactly my words.
He seems.
That might be the farm.
Wait, do you actually say that in Dwarvish?
Oh, no.
Okay. So
Well,
he tells you that there is south way that goes up through well to farm.
Oh, up to well. Yes, we know that one.
Nonetheless, we should hurry.
He nods to you. You guys part ways on good terms, and they escort you back to the main cavern with the river going through it. And you notice that the goblins all have this same approach when they enter the main cavern. They're like very cautious. And then they all go to the banks of the little creek and they like drink from the water there. And then Bonehog kind of waves off to you as you guys head south.
Say, Basho Tutum. I wrote it down when they said victory, so I know one word of goblin.
And he waves. When you say it, the entire crowd stands and they yell. They repeat it like 3 times. They're like, Basho Tutum, Basho Tutum, Basho Tutum. And then
I'll do it too.
Like, and you see them like begin kind of filtering off back towards their northern tunnel. Which way out do you guys take?
Let's go the well way.
Yeah.
Okay. You head south, you climb up the incline, and you get to the well. When you climb out, it is nighttime. The moon illuminates the neglected fields, the crops that grew there long overgrown with weeds. You see the sad abandoned cottage with the roof that's fallen in. But all of you guys emerge into the night. And it doesn't take long for you to travel through the night before you get back to the farm, actually. And you arrive in the morning and you're kind of on the verge of exhaustion. When you arrive, you find actually you see Sem and Karov kind of out in the fields, and they see you guys and they
I'm gonna hang back. I'm gonna hang back. I don't know how they feel about me.
They see you, Jaunt, and and they wave and they kind of approach you, and they see the rest of the group kind of hanging back. And they're like, how goes it, Pilgrim?
Oh, the adventures we've seen would curl your hair, boys. But I strongly encourage you all to go visit the Anthony Manor and peruse their books. They have many books and items there that I think would help you on this farm.
You found the family then? Their manor is restored?
Well, yes and no. We found them, but they've all passed. Essentially.
So the manor house is just empty?
It sits empty.
Is it true what they said? Is it haunted?
Well, that may be. The tunnels and nooks and crannies beneath it surely were. I don't recommend exploring those unless you're hardy adventurers like ourselves. But I think that it would behoove you all to learn. Can you read, boys? I'll ask you that. No. I mean,
no.
No?
We know a little bit of numbers and how to keep a ledger of our crop yield, but we're not exactly the most well-read.
Surely find someone who will read them for you.
Yes, perhaps. There is a traveling priest who comes through this area occasionally, and sometimes he will stay with us, but he could teach us. Well, then be well to you and travel safely. You're always welcome at our home.
Well, we are rather weary at the moment. Perhaps we could catch 40 winks in your barn.
Of course, come in. And they open up the gate.
Motion to Ushun and the rest.
You notice that they look out and they see Ushun and they're like, is that one okay? I've never seen a gray-skinned orc before. They're not like the green ones that attacked us, are they?
No, this one's quite different. She's brave and good.
Your word means everything. We will welcome her. And as you approach, you see the two boys kind of looking, and they're like, "Welcome, friends, to our farm. Come in."
And I'll extend my hand, and when I shake with them, I do the
arm
elbow shake.
They're like slightly intimidated by you, but they seem to be more comfortable after the reassurance from Jaunt. They lead you to the farm, and their mother comes out, and she's eager to greet all of you, and she welcomes you in. She fixes you guys a meal. You guys end up spending the rest of the day there resting, and you have a dinner at night. You sleep over one more night, and in the morning you leave their farm and you head back to Fharlanghn.
Sometime during the day, if they need something moved, or I can help them with that.
Oh yeah. So it's if you help out, they have various like farm work and labor that you guys help out with, and in return they're very happy to share what they have. When you return to Fharlanghn, you guys make your way to the inn. Ernest, Tompkins, and all of you head up to the Red Plume's office, and Captain Leto actually comes out to you guys because his room is rather small. And he says, so you acquired it, I assume. Nobody knows that you have it.
No one alive knows it.
That's what matters. He says, well, all of you made it back. That's good. I wasn't sure how many of the rumors to believe about that place being haunted.
It was.
Well, you all seem to be okay. So, let me see the book.
Here.
Take my pack off and hand him the book.
He doesn't open it. He just inspects it, and he looks at all the clasps, and he says, "Okay." And he goes into his office, sets it down on his desk, and you see he goes over to the shelf behind where he sits, and he looks at the size. You see different size pouches, and he goes over and he begins picking pouches off, and he comes over to you guys and hands you each a pouch. He says, you guys did well. And just to be clear, so that I can tell this to the client in good faith, no one else alive knows that you got this book. You didn't run into any competition.
John, show him that note.
Yeah, I'll show him the scroll, the contract, and we encountered the competition, but the competition didn't make it. We found a halfling. We believe he's called Fraugic, employed by the Prosper family.
Well, at least we found a half of it.
A quarterling.
Well, this is good, and I'm not sure if my client will care about it, but if you don't mind, I'm going to give him this as proof of what you're saying, along with the book, and it might help with the payment. You guys wait downstairs at the bar. Once I confirm with the client that they're going to move on from Fharlanghn with this, I'll send Dens down to deliver your payment. So you guys go downstairs. An hour goes by. People go in and out of the tavern. People go in and out of the inn.
I'm gonna have a big meal.
Yeah, you guys have, well, so first of all, each one of you has 50 gold. And after about an hour, Dens comes down. And he tells you that the client was very pleased and that he gave Captain Leto a bonus. And Dens sits down at the table with you, and very discreetly, he hands out to each one of you, almost like at a sleight of hand level, where he's like shaking your hand and then you feel something in your hand. Each one of you have a small red gem, which is worth 50 gold. And Dens leans forward and he's like, "That's an additional bonus. Captain Leto said you guys did very well. Remember discretion. You don't talk about this job after this job."
I don't know what job you are talking about.
Dens gets up and he walks out. Tompkins and Ernest sit and have a meal with you guys. They have a couple drinks with you guys. And after that, they both are like, well met, friends. Perhaps we'll run into each other again. Ernest is like, yes, I am going to retire back to my cottage and perhaps do a little bit more research on the comprehend languages spell. I hope that all of you carry on and do well for yourselves, and perhaps we'll run into each other again.
Blessings upon you, friend. You are invaluable.
And you as well. Take care, friends.
I say in Undercommon, take care of yourself, friend.
Ernest seems slightly shaken by your strange approach to the tongue of his enemies, but he walks away. Tompkins just shrugs and is like, we'll see you around, fellas. And good fighting with you too, Ushun. Should think about getting a longbow. Just saying. And then he walks off. And that is where we will end this episode of the Moonsea Adventures. On a very positive note, you guys have all gained a level. So before the next episode, you will be plotting what to do as you aspire to level 4 and have achieved level 4. And as always, friends, don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps support the channel. So we'll see you on the next episode of Moonsea Adventures.
Well, hello, it's me, Wizzy. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. And then don't forget to tune in to the next episode of whatever show you are just watching, and crafting videos and DM tips and pro tips for vlogging and all sorts of gaming things.